اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Give it another moment or two. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam taslima. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam taslima. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam taslima. I don't know if you all can hear the noise from outside my window. MashaAllah, it's a beautiful thing to hear birds at this hour. It's as if the birds are making their Asr prayer right now. And they make their Fajr, they make their Asr, subhanAllah. And some of the singing of the birds, they sing the praises of Allah Azza wa Jalla, la ilaha illallah. Alhamdulillah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافي مزيدا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم علمنا بما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما إنك أنت عليم حكيم. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري يا ربي كريم يا رحمن الرحيم يا رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, we're going to be beginning with lesson 25 today, inshallah bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Lesson 25 concerns honoring those that precede us in age, that proceed us in age, and showing mercy and compassion to those who are younger, yani honoring our elders and showing compassion, mercy, and love to the youth. And this is a topic that's really speaks to the building blocks of a community, of a family, of a community, and for society in large part. And we could say, for those that are a little bit older in ages, right, who reflect on the good old days, typically, across the United States and society, there would definitely be an understanding of the type of respect and honor that older individuals would have, a type of just natural respect, whether for parents or for grandparents or just elders in general. In the United States, people used to carry them in a very different manner. How we see this reflected in old time movies, stories from older family members, etc., like that, or talking about old values. But now in the United States, really, a lot of things have transitioned, where it's kind of now it's on the flip side. And so maybe that same kind of respect for older, elders and older individuals might not be there within the society. However, there's a growing faction, and not just a growing faction in society, but a growing sentiment in society about youth asserting their autonomy. I was about to say authority, their autonomy. But you could say asserting their autonomy at the expense of the authority of those that are of more experience. And so things are kind of turning themselves on their head a little bit within our society right now. And it almost speaks to the prophetic narration in which the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was communicating about some of the signs of the end of times. And one of the signs of the end of times is that a free woman would give birth to her own master, in a sense. Indicating, there can be a number of indications behind the hadith, but indicating that perhaps maybe that young ones will not see the authority within their parents or within older individuals or within the elders anymore, and that things will kind of be flipped, and that parents will have to seek the permission and honor the authority or the autonomy of the youth. But in any regards, within Islam, within the perfect balance, within the beautiful characteristics of the Prophet ﷺ, and what he's communicated to us in his sunnah, is that these things are in a balance. These things are in a balance. There's the honor for the authority and for the experience of our elders in our community, our parents, grandparents, elders, those in authority, right? But at the same time, just as there's that honor and that respect for the elders, at the same time, it must necessarily coexist that there's a sense of mercy and compassion for the youth. showing that respect to them through means of mercy and compassion. Because they're not ones that don't have that kind of experience. And so they need to be shown mercy and compassion in order to be brought up so that they can have that experience, inshallah ta'ala, with whatever they're trying to learn, with whatever they're trying to accomplish, with whatever they're trying to do. And this comes from a prophetic narration from the Prophet ﷺ, which is found in the Musnad of Imam Ahmed, in which the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Man lam yarham saghirana wa ya'rif haqqa kabirana falaysa minna." And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that whoever doesn't show mercy to those that are small from amongst us, or those that are younger from amongst us, and doesn't know the rights, of those who are kabir, or those who are larger in age, or those who are older than us, falaysa minna, then they are not from amongst us. He's saying that the Muslim is one who balances the honor and respect for those that are older than them, that precede them in age, and for those that are younger than them, that they show mercy and compassion towards them. This is the perfect balance of Islam. So the author starts to stay off in this chapter saying, this religion calls us to honor and revere the elderly. So he first starts off with talking about the reverence for the elderly, and then he transitions into speaking about the youth. The Prophet ﷺ said, to honor Muslim elders to show reverence to Allah. That this reverence to Allah, this sense of taqwa to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's ingrained with this respect for those that came before us. That's a necessary part of our ability to have taqwa, our adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or us honoring and fulfilling the rights of Allah azza wa jal, and having a sense of God consciousness, that's ingrained with the respect that we show to those who preceded us in age. Elders thus have a right over the young because of their age. Elders are also called upon to show mercy, sympathy, and concern for the young. We may observe these values in pious households founded upon the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The young honor and have respect for those older than them, while older people show compassion and mercy to the young. And when you think about it, when it comes to, just looking at the larger society around us and what we deal with in our communities, in our masajid, within our homes, there's a lot of temptation out there. A lot of temptation, a lot of trial, a lot of difficulty that those that are younger than us can really get engaged in. Unfortunately, whether it's in their schools, whether it's on the internet, or whether it's just influence just generally within the community, that there's a lot of pitfalls, there's a lot of temptations, and they're trying to figure things out. Scientifically speaking, that brains don't become fully developed, don't fully mature until about 25 years of age for men and women. And that's at the onset of about puberty, there's a rush of hormones and a new ability to really think abstractly that exists within that age period. And so there's a lot between those years of 14, 25, 13, 12, whatever like that. There's a whole lot going on. And an individual's brain is maturing and understanding more. And it really actually speaks to the veracity of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because it's mercy and compassion, it's having patience, a sense of understanding with those that come forward, with those that are coming through this process of trying to figure themselves out. Many of us, and we know that those of us that have maybe little brothers and sisters, or maybe children of our own, they go through identity type crises at those ages, trying to figure their place in the world. And it's a very confusing age, and it's in this age that necessitates mercy and compassion, a sense of patience, understanding, a kind of a sense of just, okay, no rush to judgment. Let's see it play out. Let me help you. Let me guide you. Right? And on the flip side, for the young, for those that are trying to figure themselves out and trying to understand their place in the world, and they're going through this process, when they're shown that respect and they're shown that mercy and compassion from those that are older than them, they also in turn show that respect to those that are older. And so they take from the experience from those that are older, so that way they can learn and try to establish themselves. That's the symbiotic relationship between respecting the elders, respecting one's elders, and showing compassion to the young. It's a symbiotic relationship. And so he proceeds to discuss maybe some of the etiquettes that those who are young can display for those that are elder than them, because this naturally should proceed first. Young should give that deference to those that are older. So the young learn not to sit in front of someone who is older than them in a gathering, and wherever possible not to walk in front of, nor enter a place before someone older. And hold the door open for somebody older than you, holding the door open for your elder, Or if in a gathering, say you're sitting in a mawlid or something such as that, and giving the front line, giving the front seats to those that are a little bit older. And we see this play out in our masajid sometimes, those that are a little bit older in age. The young ones will pray behind them, giving that deference and giving that preference to them to pray in the front saf, to pray in the front line. They also show the utmost respect for their elders when shaking hands and endeavor to be the first one to give the greeting of peace. The Prophet ﷺ would be the first to give the greeting of peace to everyone, whether they were young or older than him. This being from his immense character. It is recommended from the prophetic sunnah. It is recommended, however, for the young to greet those older first, for the one walking to greet those sitting, for the one riding to greet the one walking, and for someone who is alone to greet a group. So from the etiquettes of greeting somebody, that's narrated in Bukhari and Muslim. From these etiquettes is that a younger person should offer the salam, offer the peace, greetings of peace to an older individual first. This comes from the prophetic methodology of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And likewise for those that are single approaching upon a group. If you're a single individual, if you're an individual just walking and you're coming upon a group as you're walking, that you should initiate the salams first to the group before the group initiates the salams to you. And likewise from the etiquette, as for the one walking, if there's individuals who are sitting, then if you're walking, then you initiate the salams to them as well first. So for the walking to the sitting, or from the riding to those that are walking, or from the individual to the group, that these are from amongst the enemies, that the person first that these are the people who should initiate the greetings of peace first. But the Prophet ﷺ, at the immensity of his character, he was always the first one to try to give the greetings of peace first. In another hadith narration, that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says that the one who initiates the greetings of peace and says Assalamu alaikum first, then for them is 10 rewards, and for the person responding is 5. And for the one that initiates the Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, for them is 20 rewards. And for the person that says wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, for them would then be 15. And then for the individual who initiates the greetings by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, then for them is 30 rewards. And for them the individual who responds with wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, then for them is 25. Bismillah. And so suffice to say that this was the station of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was the immensity of his character, which is why I say Habib Umar, he mentions that the more beautiful a person's character is, the greater his portion of divine understanding will be, and the closer he will be to his Lord and to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In light of the prophetic narration of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he said that the best of you are those who show the best character, and that the best of you and the closest to me on Yawm al-Qiyamah are those that are best in character. And so yes, there is that deference and there is that respect where the younger should show the salams and the greetings to those that are older first, but from the immensity of one's character, we should all be trying to get into this musabaqah. We should all be trying to get in this race, this mutual race, to give the greetings of peace first. Inshallah ta'ala azza wa jal. La ilaha illallah. And so he narrates a story from one of the pious from the Salaf Saleh. So one of the pious men of the past had such reverence for his older brother that if his brother was on one story in the house, he would not be content to go up to a higher story. When they walked together on the road, his brother would be in front like the imam in the prayer, and he would be behind like a follower. This is one example of how these values were manifested in the lives of the pious. And I remember whenever there would be a gathering, in reflection of this younger brother, older brother dynamic, right, from this the story of the pious that we just read, in the younger brother, older brother dynamic, you would see Habib Umar, he's obviously the founder of Dawla Mustafa, and one of the most well-known and respected scholars amongst our ummah today. But he has an older brother, Habib Ali Mashhur, who's the Mufti of Tini. He is the Mufti of Tini, right? And so he's the foremost authority in giving fatwa in Tirim, in Yemen. And so in any gathering in which you find those two present, and I, alhamdulillah, was fortunate to be able to witness this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to display this kind of etiquette with our older brothers and sisters and with our parents and etc. such as that, subhanallah, la ilaha illallah. But one thing you would see with Habib Umar, with his older brother, Mufti Ali Mashhur, he would always have his older brother, he would be at the center of the gathering. Habib Umar, even though he was probably, he's more famous across, in the world and what have you like that, and he would have more followers literally around him and at all points, but he would always give that deference to his older brother, Mufti Ali Mashhur. He would always have him sitting in the center of the gathering. He would always be the one to kiss his hand first. He would show him deferential treatment when it comes to eating the food first. SubhanAllah. And this is despite Habib Umar having larger following, larger gatherings, and more students, more fame, etc. like that. We'd always give him that deferential treatment. It was something sincere and something beautiful, seeing their smile and seeing it play out, allowing him the opportunity to give the closing du'as always. SubhanAllah, la ilaha illallah. And so this is what it means to really have that deference for somebody who's older than you. Right? To have that respect for somebody that is older than you. And likewise, obviously, that mercy and compassion, that love, it's displayed, it's a symbiotic relationship. That is something that is returned. It's not something where it's so when we say this respect for elders and mercy and compassion for you, it's not, if this young person is not respecting me, then I'm not showing mercy and compassion. No. And it's not, Ustaz so-and-so or so-and-so, this older person is not showing me any respect or is not showing me any kindness, not really nice with me, so I'm not going to show him any respect. No. We don't play ourselves based off of what we're expecting from the other. We don't have the expectations of the other. We simply follow with what we're commanded to and what we see within the light of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if we're younger than somebody, automatically we try to show them that respect. And conversely, if we're older than somebody else, then we automatically need to show them that compassion and kindness and that mercy, despite what the other party is presenting with. This is not a tit-for-tat type of relationship. And that's a mistaken understanding that we only react. We don't be proactive in our behavior. But we just wait and just to see, if the person treats me like this, then I'm going to treat them like that. That's a quid pro quo relationship. That's not a true relationship. True relationship will exist without expectations. A true relationship will exist when you take the initiative, despite how the other party may come across to you, that you take the initiative to give them their right. You take the initiative to give them their right. You take the initiative to honor them. You take the initiative to show mercy, kindness, and compassion towards them. Because this is supposed to be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And so if we're only showing somebody good treatment, if we're only fulfilling somebody's rights because they fulfilled our rights or they showed us kind treatment or they honored us, then are we doing it really for the sake of Allah? Or are we only returning the kind treatment or the mercy or the honoring or the compassion because our ego was then satiated? And so, okay, now this person has, they've shown me that they are deserving of my good character. No, that's not how it is. We show this good character, we show this beautiful character, but without being asked, without there being a invoice that we're sending that we can collect a receipt from the individual. We precede one another, we race with one another. And mutually compete upon that which is good. We try to beat one another towards doing what's good. That's the whole essence of the hadith that we mentioned earlier about the rewards for the greetings of peace. Yeah, and it's not that we shouldn't just defer to somebody and say, okay, you know what? Well, you know what? You take the 10 rewards. I'm just going to take this 5 and, with the wa alaikum assalam because, you're the younger person and I'm just going to... No. We mutually compete. We want to be first to get the rewards. We want to be first to show good character. We want to be the ones who are first to display that beauty and to invite kindness. And to have a beautiful relationship, we have to initiate. It's a mutual initiation. There's no action and reaction. That's not good character. No. Mutually initiate the beauty within one another to have a beautiful relationship. That's what it means to have beautiful character. That's what it means to have beautiful character. And it's why the author mentions that by this we strengthen our connection to our religion, and in turn our communities will then be clearly identified as faith-based communities, communities that truly inculcate this quality of faith, this beauty of faith within them. And the chosen Prophet ﷺ says, he who does not, so the hadith that emphasizes this fact, and we'll close with this, that he who does not honor our elders, nor show compassion to our young, and knows not the worth of our scholars, is not of us. And so this hadith adds a little ziyada, adds a little bit more. That he does not honor the elders, and does not show mercy to the young ones, and does not know the worth of their scholars, then he is not of us. So it's incumbent upon us to be proactive, not reactive, but be proactive in showing that honor, showing that respect, or getting to know individuals in order to establish that relationship with them and in order to have a true connection with the religion, inshallah azza wa jal. Really having that true connection with the religion. We have a true connection with the religion. We have a true connection with Allah azza wa jal when we truly find ways to connect and show this beautiful character and display this honor, respect, kindness, compassion, mercy, love, community together. And that's the way we honor these rights of a community that we have upon one another. Bidnillahi ta'ala. Author finishes with the dua. Oh Allah, enable us to attain the most noble of character and remove from us all that is detrimental. Enable us to follow the path of those with whom you are pleased. We ask you to implement your decree with gentleness. Make the manifestations of religion clearly visible in our own states and in our communities through your mercy, O most merciful. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He enables us through His enabling grace and through His beauty to be able to display the beautiful character of those who are older than us and those who are younger than us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us enabling grace for those that are older than us, that we have a degree of respect, that we have a degree of honor with them, and that we not only imbibe that and we hold that within us, but we also express it through our tongues and our actions as well. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us enabling grace and the beauty to be able to, when we come across individuals younger than us, those that are young adults or teenagers or children or very small children or infants or what have you, that we have patience with them, that we have understanding with them, that we show them grace, we show them mercy, we show them compassion. And we have this symbiotic relationship within our communities in which it creates a beautiful milieu of mutual honoring, mutual respecting, mutual compassion, and mutual mercy. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين آمين. And just a reminder to us all, inshallah ta'ala, for those that began their fasting on the Friday, inshallah bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, tonight inshallah ta'ala is going to be the 27th night, and it is said, according to a majority-ish type opinion, that the 27th night is the night of Laylatul Qadr, inshallah ta'ala. It could be any one amongst the odd nights, inshallah ta'ala, but this night in particular is definitely held in special esteem amongst the Muslims throughout the generations. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us His enabling grace to be able to reach Laylatul Qadr, to be able to spend it in worship, and that He accepts it from us, and that He spreads His vast mercy across His ummah, across the ummah of Sayyidina Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك الله فيكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.